Hello, operator. Can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Baba Ghoulie Show.
And now, tonight's presentation of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. Tonight, the story of tension and danger in a small inn on the avalanche-swept slopes of the Alps. We call it Premonition. So now, starring Lawrence Dobkin with Charlotte Lawrence, here is tonight's suspense play, Premonition.
Tony, be careful. Tony.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this is awful. I can't even see the road. We shouldn't have tried it. We should have gone the other way.
No, that's 200 miles farther. You were the one in a hurry. You wanted Christmas in Paris, remember?
Well, one day more wouldn't have mattered. We didn't have to be pioneers and cross the Alps in a blizzard.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Oh, I'm frozen. Didn't you say there was supposed to be an inn along here somewhere?
Yeah, about halfway up the pass. We should reach it soon.
Oh, let's stop there. This is awful.
Well, we're doing all right. Another 2 hours, we ought to be over the pass.
Tony, look out!
Oh, great. Come on.
Are we stuck?
Couldn't be more.
What are we going to do?
Well, if it weren't snowing, we could admire the view. People come from all over the world to see the Alps. Well, there they are, right outside the windows. Front, back, on both sides, and straight up.
Oh, Tony, we can't just sit here and freeze to death.
Any suggestions?
Darling, I'm scared.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll be all right. We'll get out of it.
If only we could get to that inn. Can you see it?
No, can't see anything. Snow's like a curtain. Oh, wait a minute.
Well?
No. But it shouldn't be too far up the road. You wait here. I'll go and see if I can get someone to pull us out.
Oh, wait, I'm going too.
You'll get soaked.
Well, I'm not going to stay here alone. It may take hours, and I want to get warm.
Suit yourself.
Tony?
Huh?
Help me.
Oh, here. Well, step in my tracks.
Oh, it's so deep.
Told you you'd get soaked. Now pick up your feet.
Oh, don't take such big steps. Oh!
Take it easy. It's just a few more steps now. Now, up. Okay.
Oh, thank goodness they've swept the stairs. Oh, I'm soaked.
It's funny.
What's funny?
The air. Well, all that snow, but right here, it's quiet. No wind. Not even very cold, almost warm.
Oh, I'm not warm. There's a fire inside. Come on.
Okay.
Now, I understand why they build these mountainside places on stilts. They'd be buried otherwise.
You know, it's odd.
What's odd?
I've got a funny feeling. There's something oppressive here, Gwen. I don't know, maybe the mountains all around are shutting out the sky.
And you're the one who always loved them so. Now you know how I've been feeling all these months.
Yeah. Don't know what it is. Just a feeling. I suppose you'd call it a premonition.
A premonition? About what?
Well, I know this sounds silly. I don't like this place.
Well, I do. It looks wonderful to me and a lot warmer inside.
No, I know. It's not that. Oh, I can't explain it.
Oh, Tony, stop being a writer. Come on, I'm freezing and I want to get out of these wet things. Are you coming?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that fire looks wonderful.
Bitte kommen Sie herein. Guten Tag, mein Herr. Guten Tag, gnädige Frau. Willkommen.
Ja, guten Tag. Mein Wagen ist kaputt. Ich brauche Hilfe.
Aber jawohl. Verzeihen Sie, Sie sind Amerikaner, nicht wahr?
My accent still doesn't fool anyone, I guess.
Oh, nein, you speak well, mein Herr. It is more the close that speaks of the wealthy Amerikaner. I'm Herr Landig, and I'm most happy to serve you.
Well, you don't know how happy we are to get here.
Look, Herr Landig, we're stalled in the snow right down the road now. Is there anyone here who can help pull us out?
Ich weiß nicht, there is a Swiss gentleman with an auto who has only just arrived also, and a French family.
Uh-huh.
It could be arranged, vielleicht, but...
Well, but what? Oh, I'll pay, of course.
Oh, nein, nein, nein. Nein, auf keinen Fall.
You mean you don't think we should try to go on?
No, I would not advise it. It is not for the money, mein Herr, I assure you, but such a storm.
Honey, I want to go on if we can. How long will this last?
Weiß nicht. Perhaps another day, perhaps more. Then the road must be cleared. Herr Brown, the Swiss gentleman, says it's very bad on the Swiss side.
Tony?
Okay. Haben Sie ein Zimmer für two?
Aber selbstverständlich, mein Herr. Yeah, I will show you. And then the other guests are prepared to eat. You will join us, yeah?
Oh, yes, I'm starved.
Yeah, I understand. Kommen Sie. Du vin, Madame Rouge?
No, merci.
Well, Herr Christopher, one does not expect to meet Americans in such a place at such a time.
You know, it is not the season for tourists, n'est-ce pas?
Well, we're not exactly tourists, Monsieur Rouge. Been living in Austria a year now.
My husband is writing a book.
Oh, never mind the publicity, Gwen. Nobody's interested.
On the contrary, mein Herr, an author, yeah?
And you write a book about Österreich?
Not about Austria, just in Austria.
So, you came here for inspiration, yeah? To the land of beauty and great art.
And cheap rent. It's a great country, Herr Landig, but for a writer, I'm afraid the rate of exchange decided the issue.
True, Herr Christopher. As a Swiss, I also find Austrian prices attractive. And now you are going back to America?
Oh, no, just to Paris for Christmas. Such a lovely time of year for traveling.
Oh, Tony.
We must not forget the radio. There may be new reports.
Reports?
Of the storm, monsieur. Very bad.
Yes, I can see that.
Avalanches, mein Herr. 2 villages in the Balsa Valley completely destroyed. Many dead. 3 killed just across the pass this morning.
Oh, isn't that awful? I'm so glad we didn't try to go on.
Yeah, that would have been unwise. Darf ich Ihnen noch etwas anbieten, Madame Christopher?
Oh, thank you. I'm a pig, but I don't care. They're so good.
Herr Christopher, what do you think of the Russian intentions in Austria? Herr Christopher.
Yes? Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Darling,
What?
why so preoccupied? You haven't touched your lunch.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just not hungry.
Oh. I'm afraid my husband is in a mood. It's really quite amusing. You see, he has some sort of a premonition.
Premonition?
Yes, you know. A funny feeling that something terrible is going to happen.
Oh, Gwen.
A foreboding, nicht wahr?
Yes. He got it the minute he saw this place. Didn't even want to come in here. Isn't that silly?
Oh, mon Dieu, Maurice.
Floriane, calme-toi. Je ne sais pas ce qu'il dit.
Mais moi, je le sens. Je t'assure qu'il y a du danger. Il faut partir immédiatement.
Tais-toi, Floriane, nous ne sommes pas en danger. Ne le crois pas, non.
Oh, Madame Rouge, I assure you, there's no danger. This place is absolutely safe. You need not be concerned.
Oh, but I'm terribly sorry. I had no idea. I didn't mean to upset anyone.
My wife is easily frightened, madame. Perhaps you will excuse us.
Oh, please, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. It was really a joke.
Oh,
I thought...
darling, never mind.
May I assist you, Monsieur Rouge?
No. We go to our room. It will pass. Viens, Floriane.
Mon Dieu, il faut partir. Je sens, il y a du danger, Maurice.
Oh, Tony, I'm so ashamed. I didn't think...
Well, take it easy, honey.
Oh, don't be upset, madame. That one is an hysteric.
But I meant it as a joke.
Well, it's not a joke, Gwen. 3 people killed this morning, 2 villages nearby wiped out.
Well, I just didn't suppose there was any danger here.
And there probably is not, gnädige Frau, unless your husband's premonition is correct.
Oh, but that's such a crazy idea. He doesn't really believe in such things.
Don't you, Herr Christopher?
I don't know.
Oh, Tony.
After all, Frau Christopher, there is nothing so strange about your husband's premonition, nothing occult or supernatural. It can be explained quite realistically.
How?
You are a writer, trained to a special sensitivity. You sense the danger, though you cannot read the signs.
What signs, for instance?
It has been snowing for days. An unusual mass lies on every slope. And it has been, and still is, unseasonably warm. That means the snow is extra heavy, extra wet. There may even be subsurface melting. Such unstable conditions are explosive. Danger hangs on every mountain, all through the Alps.
Even here?
No, not here. Assure you, Herr Christopher and Herr Brown. This inn is safe. We have never had an avalanche here.
You see, Tony?
Never yet. Eh, Herr Landig?
Letzte Nachricht. 82 Tote in Österreich.
Dead in Austria, 82.
143 in der Schweiz.
In Switzerland, 143.
Rettungsversuche werden weiter ausgeübt und Schweizer und amerikanische Helikopter
American and
der
Swiss
Armee
helicopters
bringen medizinische Hilfe.
bring medical relief.
Das Schneestürzinstitut von Davos warnt, dass die Gefahr noch nicht vorbei
The
ist.
danger is not ended.
Schnee fällt in vielen Teilen der Alpen und Temperaturen
Snow
bleiben hoch.
falls in many parts of the
Alle
Alps.
Einwohner unter steilem Abhang werden evakuiert.
All people on the steep
Weitere
places
Nachrichten
evacuated.
um 2 Uhr.
More at 2 o'clock. Schrecklich, schrecklich.
Yeah, at this rate, we cannot go on for days. Our misfortune, your fortune, Herr Landeck.
I would rather not earn my fortune this way. I'm sorry for you all.
Yeah, I will try a stein of your beer, Herr Landeck.
Ja, ich bringe es sofort.
Tony? Come on and join us. Don't just sit here staring out the window.
Gwen.
Look, it stopped snowing. And the sun's trying to break through. Look, everybody, it stopped snowing.
Yes, I noticed, Madame Christopher.
Well, isn't that a good sign?
Not necessarily. There is snow enough already. And if the sun causes melting, yeah.
Oh, I see.
I don't like it. Oppressive. Too quiet. The light. The whole thing.
Well, would anybody care for a game of cards?
Anything to pass the time.
Look, Gwen, let's go, huh? They'll help us get the car out.
But, Tony, it would be more dangerous out there.
Well, it's here that worries me.
I know, but it...
All right, skip it.
Tony, please, I only want to do what...
Wait a minute, listen.
What is it?
Look, out the window.
Tony!
Oh, mein Gott, das war zu nah.
Yeah. I have never seen one like that.
Whole slope across the valley came down. Look, it's almost filled that canyon. Anything had been in front of it.
I tell you, over there. Yeah, there have been avalanches before, but not here. Not on this side. It is because up there is, how you say, eine Schale.
Yeah, a bowl or basin.
Yeah, and this catches all of the snow from above. You can see it. And behind the inn you will see trees, tall trees, which have been growing there for 50 years. They have never been touched. Go. Go and see for yourself, Herr Christopher. Satisfy yourself.
Well, what do you think, Herr Brown?
Yeah. Ordinarily, Herr Landeck would be right.
Yeah, only you said these are extraordinary conditions.
Exactly. There is perhaps more snow up there than ever before. If that mass should start to slide, it would go faster and farther than ever before. If it should fill up and overflow that basin.
Well, what about the trees? Wouldn't they stop it?
Mein Herr, they would be as matchsticks, and this building the matchbox.
Well, then why do we stay here?
Because there is no more danger here than anywhere else, and perhaps there is less.
Yes, of course. Well, we may as well get back.
Yeah.
Hey, look. What? That's an American Army Jeep.
So, if we are to die, it seems fate brings us another victim.
Hey, hello. Oh, greetings, Sergeant. Greetings. What are you doing way up here?
I wish I knew, Mike. How about you?
Oh, we got stuck coming through.
Well, you're stuck, mister. You ain't going any further over the pass.
It's bad?
Everything's breaking loose. One of them almost got me, blocked the pass right behind me. Hey, you got something hot to drink in this place?
Oh, sure. You going on down the valley?
I'm going clear to headquarters at Salzburg if I can get through. Courier, logistic command.
Listen, will you pull me out with your Jeep and then I can follow you back down?
Well, sure, Mac, I'll try. But let me get something hot first.
Oh,
huh?
sure, all right. But I'll be ready.
Roger. Man, what a trip.
Well, Christopher, it seems you will be able to go on after all.
Herr Brown, we all could go. Because 2 more could easily get into our car and 2 can ride in the Jeep.
Yeah, that is true, but...
Oh, but you won't, will you? Everybody thinks my premonition is nonsense. No, except perhaps you, Herr Brown. But you're a philosopher. If it's your time to die, so be it. But you'll wait for death to come to you. You won't run out to meet it.
True. All true, Herr Christopher.
Yeah. Well, I can't decide your fate for you, much as I might like to. Every man must do that for himself. One more good pull should do it, Sergeant. But take it easy and watch that bank.
Give it a little more left wheel, right?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Careful! Dante, look out! Oh. Sergeant? Sergeant, you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Just give me a hand.
Let me help
sure.
also, Sergeant.
Okay, ready? Now, heave.
Thanks.
Are you hurt, Sergeant?
No, ma'am, I'm okay. We didn't do so good, did we? Instead of getting you out, I got myself in.
It was most fortunate you did not go altogether over the
What
side.
do you think? Can we get that Jeep out?
Well, not without a 10-ton rig. She's stuck down there, but good.
Guess you're right.
Yeah, sorry, Mac. Personally, I don't give a stink. I wasn't anxious to drive all night anyway. Well, might as well get back to the fire. Nothing we can do here.
It seems your fate is working against you, mein Herr.
And perhaps for the best, Herr Christopher.
I suppose there's nothing to do now.
You have
but...
skis that we could borrow or buy, haven't you, Herr Landick?
Oh, nein, Herr Christopher. I have skis, yeah, but you cannot think to do such a thing. It's too dangerous, even for expert skiers.
He's right, Mac. I wouldn't try.
No, we could go slow and follow the road.
You are that sure of your feeling, Herr Christopher?
Yes.
And you, Frau Christopher?
Tony, darling, I'm trying to be sensible. I was ready to go in the car, but...
Gwen.
But this... Well, surely we'd be safer here.
Yeah, absolutely, mein Herr.
Yeah, don't be a fool, Mac.
Tony, please.
Gwen.
If there were any real reason...
Oh, all right. All right, let's go back to the inn.
Ah, Frau Christopher, will you join me? It is most comfortable here by the fire.
Thank you, Herr Braun.
Your husband, he is upstairs?
In our room, writing. You know what he's writing?
I can guess. Something about his premonition.
Yes. Kind of scientific note, he calls it. He thinks it will make interesting reading if someone finds it afterwards.
Oh, and so it will. Your husband is an extraordinary man, gnädige Frau. A man of deep sympathy and understanding. I imagine he is a very fine writer.
Yes. Yes, I think he is.
That is a rare and wonderful thing. I shall be most interested to read his book. It is finished?
Not quite. He wanted to stay and finish, but... Oh, it's my fault we're going to Paris. My fault we're here.
And that troubles you?
Yes. Supposing he's right. His premonition.
It would be a pity for a man of such promise to die here, now, with his life and his work unrealized. Wouldn't it?
If you'll excuse me here, Braun, I'm going up and tell him we're leaving right away.
Auf Wiedersehen, gnädige Frau. Auf Wiedersehen, Herr Christopher.
Wiedersehen.
Mit Gott.
I think you're nuts to try it on skis. But good luck. I hope you make it.
Thank you.
Good luck to both of you. Well, send me a copy of the book when it is finished, yeah?
You bet. Good luck to all of you.
You'll be all right. I know you will. Goodbye. Tony. Tony, can we stop a minute now?
Sure. Sure. You all right?
Oh, fine. Tony, can you see them still?
No. No, just the building. They've all gone back inside anyway.
Oh, it looks so quiet. So peaceful. I can't believe...
No, don't even think about it. They'll be all right. All right. Let's go on. Stay in my tracks. It'll be easier.
All right.
And don't worry, darling. Everything's going to be all right now. Ready?
Yes,
Okay.
Tony.
Huh?
Tony! Tony! It was true.
I guess so. Nothing we can do. Except go on down and tell somebody. Tell them what's happened.
Suspense, in which Lawrence Dobkin starred as Tony with Charlotte Lawrence as Gwen. Next week, the story of the terrifying escape of a dying man. It's called Odd Man Out. That's next week on Suspense. Suspense is produced and directed by Anthony Ellis, with music composed by Lucien Morawick and conducted by Bernard Herrmann. Premonition was specially written for Suspense by John Dunkel. Featured in the cast were Edgar Barrier, John Daner, Fritz Feld, Joe Cranston, Nan Boardman, and Ben Wright.
You hear America's favorite shows on the CBS Radio Network.
It's intermission time at the Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. This radio show has been brought to you by... Hello, kids. Bored at home? Can't get any girls to come over? Well, then call up some ghouls to come over instead. They'll certainly scare the pants off of ya. Just dial 1-900-CALL-GHOULS and hear some scary stories.
$2 for the first minute, 35 cents each additional minute, plus 3 souls for the full experience. Ask your parents' permission first.
And now back to our radio show. Hello, operator. Can you please connect me with OTR Halloween Holidays? I don't want to miss this episode of the Baba Ghoulie Show.
Are you burned up at the high price of turkeys? Can't get eggs for your pumpkin pie? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape.
You're trapped in a remote valley of the Andes, walled in by sheer rock precipices, and surrounding you, closing in on you, is a band of blind men who want your eyes.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson and carefully plotted to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the high mountains of Ecuador and to a remarkable world where sight is unknown, as H.G. Wells imagined it in his curious story, The Country of the Blind.
My name is Ibarra. I am a mining engineer in Quito, Ecuador, high in the towering Andes. And up until a year ago, my chief sport was mountain climbing. My last climb was an attempt to scale the remote and forbidding peak of Pariscotopetl, a 20,000-foot crag unconquered by man. It is unconquered still. 3,000 feet from the icy summit, our party turned back and fled for their lives. All of us escaped except one, a guide named Nunez, who slipped and fell over the precipice, disappearing into the vast chasm that yawned 10,000 feet beneath us. The horror of that man's fall has haunted my dreams for a year. Because of it, I have forsaken mountain climbing for the rest of my life. And that decision still stands, even though today I have seen Nunez. He was sitting on the steps of my shack when I arrived at the mine this morning. At first I didn't recognize him. He was so much changed. I thought he was a ragged beggar asking alms.
Is it you, Senor Ibarra?
My name is Ibarra, yes. What do you want?
You do not know me, senor.
I know. You look like a man I knew once, but he is...
Dead? Dead on the slopes of Pariscotopetl?
Nunez. No, it couldn't be you.
Nunez. That is my name, senor. At least that is the name I remember.
But you fell. I saw you fall.
Yes.
It's impossible that you could have lived.
Perhaps the gods of the mountain had some reason to spare me.
Nunez, if we'd had any idea that you were alive, but you went down thousands of feet. We couldn't even attempt to find your body.
I know. I do not blame you. You could not have reached me. And if you had, I should not have welcomed you at first. But then later.
What do you mean, Nunez?
Senor, you will not believe what I have to tell.
I can hardly believe that I'm seeing you, talking to you. But what has happened to you?
You remember that night, the night I fell?
Yes.
We had been toiling all day, inching our way up a steep ice wall. And as darkness came, we found a narrow ledge, barely 3 feet wide.
It's not very wide, but we can get our shoulder wall up, cut off some of this wind.
Hell, that'll be welcome.
Yes, but first we'll rest a moment.
Look at that icy devil up there, glistening in the moonlight.
There's another 3,000 feet of sheer ice wall to the top.
Well, I can see why no one's ever made it. Think we should go on?
I don't know. Nunez, what do you think?
It is not my place to say, senor. I was hired to guide you to the top. I agreed.
What do you really think?
If I believed in the gods of the mountain, as the Indians do, I should be frightened now.
Why?
Because we have invaded the Forbidden Circle. This part of the Andes is unmapped and unknown, senor.
And therefore shrouded in superstition, eh?
It is an easy thing to believe strange things in this white loneliness.
Some of the legends are really fascinating. I've heard of one, something about a hidden valley called the Country of the Blind.
Yes. It is supposed to be somewhere down there below us. A fertile valley which was settled many centuries ago, and then cut off by the great landslide of Arauca.
But why the Country of the Blind?
Well, even before it was isolated, the people developed a strange illness. All of them slowly went blind. After that, their children were born blind. And the legend is that the valley was the home of the mountain gods. It was too beautiful for human eyes.
It's odd. Well, it's all nonsense.
Yes, of course.
Would be pleasant to find it, though. You know the old proverb, in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
I doubt that we could ever find it. I even doubt if it exists.
Of course not. I was only joking.
Yes. Well, now if you're arrested, we'll make the shelter wall.
Right. I'll give you a hand in a minute. Believe me, Ibarra, for 2 pesos, I'd give up this climb. I never realized
Senors, I'm slipping!
Hang on! Nunez! Nunez!
In one horrible instant, my foot had slipped on the treacherous ledge and I'd gone over, falling far out into the icy black night, falling down, down. I fell perhaps 1,000 feet. Then I felt a heavy stinging impact of snow. I'd fallen on an almost perpendicular snow slope. And now I was sliding, down, down, tumbling over and over. And then suddenly I realized that my own motion had almost stopped. And it was the snow that was moving. I was riding an avalanche. At almost the same moment, I went over the second precipice. It was higher than the first, much higher, perhaps 4,000 feet. I fell with the snow for what seemed minutes, every second expecting the terrible final impact. But the impact never came. Miracle of miracles, that sheer wall blended almost imperceptibly into another steep snow slope. And again I was sliding. Gradually, as the arc of the slope curved away, I felt myself slow down. And finally I rolled to a stop and lay still. When I awoke, it was morning, and I was covered with snow. I shook off the cold white blanket on my chest and rested a moment. And then I rolled over on my back and looked up. My heart almost stopped as I saw from where I'd fallen. Why, the mountain towered 10,000 feet above me. Then carefully I felt of myself. My clothes were torn. I was bruised and bleeding. I ached in every muscle, but I had not a single broken bone. I lay there and offered up a prayer to the gods of the mountain. Far below me,
lay a lush valley sparkling in the morning sunlight. I could see the stately trees and the green meadows fresh with dew. I started down the mountain, but it was still an arduous descent. The farther down I got, the more I realized the beauty of the scene. Why, this was a hidden paradise I'd fallen into, and I was the first man ever to see it. So I thought, but I was wrong. I realized that first when I saw the cultivation in the meadows, and then the walks, well-kept stone walks laid in a symmetrical pattern all over the valley. And then I saw them. There were men and women lying under the trees and resting in the fields. Nearby, a collection of windowless huts marked a village, and the plastering of the houses was done in a wild variety of colors. I thought to myself, the plasterer who did that must have been blind as a bat. Then I saw two of the men quite close to me. They were standing on a bridge over the little stream. They were dressed in odd, loose clothing, and there was a strange look about their faces. They failed to notice me as I approached until I shouted. Suddenly they looked up attentively in my direction. I waved wildly at them, but they took no notice. Why, the fools must be blind. Blind? Could it be that I have fallen into the country of the blind? In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man can be king. Hello there. You needn't be afraid. I won't hurt you. I come in peace.
It is a man, or a spirit come down from the rocks.
Oh, I'm a man, all right. Just like you, but I've had a miraculous escape, and now I find myself here in your valley.
Valley? Valley? Come hither. Let me feel of you.
Yes, certainly. Here, my arm. Is my face? You see, I am a man, like yourself. Here, feel my lips. They move with speech. Oh, careful there. Gently, those are my eyes.
Eyes? Eyes? That is strange. Feel this chorea. Yes, I feel.
Careful. Feel the eyelids flutter?
He is but imperfectly formed. Some strange bulge there. Unseemly.
No. You see, your eyes are shrunken in, but mine are whole. I can see.
See? Pedro, he is a strange wild one. Where does he come from? He must have come down out of the rock.
No, from over the mountains, out of the country beyond there where men can see. From Bogota, where there are 100,000 people and the city stretches out of sight.
Sight? What strange words he uses, without meaning. And feel the coarseness of his hair, like a llama's. Our fathers have told us men may be made by forces of nature. It is the warmth of things, and moisture, and rottenness. Let us lead him to the elders.
But no one need lead me. I can see.
See?
Oh, yes, of course. I can... I didn't see your water bucket.
His senses are still imperfect. He stumbles and talks unmeaning words. Lead him by the hand, Pedro.
But look, Oh, well, all right. These people had been blind for centuries. They had forgotten even the words associated with seeing. And they thought I was an idiot, only half-formed. Especially when they led me into the pitch blackness of one of their windowless huts, and I stumbled over someone.
1,000 pardons, Medina Sarota. He is a clumsy one.
I'm sorry I fell down. I couldn't see in the darkness.
Who is this? And what is he saying? He is but newly formed, good father. He has come down from the rocks. He stumbles as he walks and mingles words that mean nothing with his speech. He is a wild man out of the rocks.
No, I come from Bogota, over the mountains.
You hear? Bogota. He uses wild words. His mind is hardly formed. He has only the beginnings of speech. Bogota?
Yes. I come from the great world where men have eyes and see.
That must be his name, Bogota. He stumbled twice as we came thither.
He must be taught.
No, you don't understand. I can see, but not in the dark. To you, darkness or light is all the same, but to me, to us who can see, to us outside in the world beyond the mountains...
Mountains? What are mountains?
Very well, then, beyond the rocks.
There is nothing beyond the rocks. That is the end of the world.
Oh, but surely you must realize the sky above covers more than just this valley.
Sky? Above? There is nothing above but the roof of rock. He is very raw, my children. He shall have to be taught from the beginnings. Now take him away. Feed him.
It shall be done, good father.
But guide him. See that he does not stumble over my daughter again.
Do not fear, Father. I shall guide him myself and feed him.
Very well.
Come. Take my hand.
Thank you. It'll be a pleasure to get outside again, out of this darkness.
Come this way.
Yes. What is your name?
Medana Sarote.
Mine is Juan Nunez. Oh, sunlight. Oh, this is better. And now I may look at you. Why, you're beautiful. I cannot tell you what a wonderful thing you are to see.
Please, you must be careful.
Why?
If you do not learn quickly and cease speaking such strange words, they may not be so kind to you. They might be angry. They might even destroy you.
This thought had not occurred to me, and suddenly I had a twinge of fear. Still, the proverb kept running through my mind. In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man is king. But try as I would, I could not make them understand my wonderful gift of sight. They thought me stupid and untaught, almost an idiot. Day by day, I learned their peaceful ways, but they could not learn mine. It was beginning to get on my nerves. Theirs too, perhaps.
Bogota? Bogota, come hither. Bogota, you move not.
No, and I won't, you old beetle. I'll show you. I'll leave the path.
Bogota, trample not on the grass. It is not allowed.
How did you know I stepped on the grass?
I heard, of course.
Heard, but I didn't make a sound.
Why do you not come when I call you? Can you not hear the path as you walk?
I can see it.
There is no such word as see. Cease this folly and follow the sound of my feet.
Oh, my time will come.
You will learn. There is much to learn in the world.
Has no one ever told you in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
Blind? What is blind?
Oh, never mind.
Bogota, I must warn you. Just keep quiet and learn. And stop this nonsense about seeing.
Nonsense, is it? I'll show you I've taken enough of your insults. Unformed mind, got no sense yet. I'll be king here. I can see and I'll be king.
Bogota, stop it.
No, I'm through with your orders. I'll show you what an advantage sight can be. I can hit you and hurt you, and you can't see me to strike back.
Bogota, put down that spade.
You devil, your ears are sharp, aren't they?
Bogota, there must be no violence.
By heaven, I'll hit you if you come any closer. I swear I will.
Put down that spade and come off the grass.
You don't understand. You are blind, and I can see. I can see.
Bogota.
I'll hurt you. I swear I will.
Put down that spade.
Leave me alone! I hit him with a spade and ran. Over the wall, outside the valley, back to the rocks, back to the cliff I'd come from. When I reached that sheer rock wall, I knew there was no place to go. For 2 days and nights, I stayed outside the valley. I grew hungry and cold. Then I realized the hopelessness of my position. I was trapped. I must spend the rest of my life here. There was no way out. So I went back. I confess, O chief of the elders, I was mad, I admit. I was only newly made.
That is better. And do you still think you can see?
No. That was folly. The words mean nothing, less than nothing.
And what is overhead?
Rock. There's a roof above the world, a roof of rock and very smooth.
Very well. And...
Please, before you ask me any more, give me food or I shall die.
Very well. Give him food. Medina Sarote.
Yes, Father.
And after that, we must put him to the most menial tasks in the village. Guard him well. And perhaps he shall learn yet.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that is better. You are kind, Medina Sarote. Very kind.
I am glad you came back.
You are? If they were all like you, I should never have run away.
What was that word you said I was?
Beautiful. You are. Well, even your eyes, they're not shrunken depressions like the others.
It means something nice, beautiful.
Something very nice, Medina Sarote. Tell me, why is it you have no husband?
I have a disfigurement. These long hairs.
Oh, your eyelashes? Oh, but they're beautiful.
They are considered a disfigurement.
You're the most lovely girl in the valley. But they wouldn't know, would they? You have no lover?
No.
Medina Sarote, what do you think of me? Do you think of me as an idiot like all the rest do?
Oh, no. No, you have much to learn, but you will learn it, I'm sure. And you are kind and gentle, and your voice is soft. You speak words that are soft and warm. No one has ever spoken such words to me.
Then I shall speak them often, Medina Sarote. You are the only one in this valley, in this whole world I care for. And so it began. I, the village idiot, the slave boy who dreamed to be king. I, with my eyes still whole, fell in love with Medina Sarote, the daughter of the elder of the village. Only to her could I open my heart without fear. Only to her could I speak of the beauty I could see around me. Oh, it is a beautiful valley, Medina Sarote. Green with grass and yellow with sunlight. And flowers, bright flowers dotting the hills. And in the cool of the night, the stars gleam like diamonds in the sky.
Oh, the words sound lovely. But what are stars?
Stars? Why, No, you wouldn't understand.
And what do you mean, in the cool of the night? You still get that confused one. The night is warm. The day is cool.
Oh, no, it is you here who have them backwards. Because the darkness means nothing to you. You work in the cool of the night and sleep in the heat of the day, but...
You are teasing me.
No. Oh. What does it matter? All that matters is you. You. Here beside me, Medina Sarote. I love you.
And I love you.
I know they still think me an idiot, but you listen to what I say, and you don't think me an idiot, do you?
Oh, no. I like to hear you speak.
Then, would you marry me?
Yes. Yes, Juan. I will marry you.
No, I will not have it.
But, Father...
He is an idiot. He has delusions. He cannot do anything right.
But he is getting better. He's better than he was. And he is strong and kind. Stronger and kinder than anyone in the world. And he loves me. And I love him.
No, I will not have it.
Great sire, if you please.
What is it, good doctor?
I have examined Bogota, and the case is clear to me. I think very probably he might be cured.
Huh? And how might that be done?
His brain is affected by something. I believe I know what it is.
Those queer things he calls eyes. Where we have but an agreeable depression, he has great lumps, with flaps over them that move, and long hairs. Consequently, his brain is in a constant state of irritation.
But what can be done to cure him?
A very simple surgical operation. Remove the cause of the irritation. We will merely cut out his eyes.
But, Juan, they say it will make you well. It will make you look like us.
But you don't understand, Medina Cerote. My world is sight. You would not want me to lose my most precious possession.
I don't know.
There are so many beautiful things to see. The flowers, the far sky with its drifting clouds, the sunsets, the stars. And you. If only just to see you it is good to have sight. And I would never see you again.
Juan, I love to hear you say these things, even though I know it is just your imagination.
But, my dear, these things are real.
No, they are fancies. This is real. If you will let them cut out your eyes, we can be together always.
And you want me to?
Oh, if you would. If only you would.
What else can I do?
My dearest one. My dearest with a tender voice. I will repay you.
Oh, Medina.
Be brave. And carry my voice in your thoughts. Now I must go. And tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow will be forever.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Medina. I suppose I knew it then, when I said that. I only meant to go up on the rocks and look out over the valley, to spend my last days feasting my eyes, my precious eyes, on the wonderful, beautiful world of light and color. But when I got there, it was too beautiful, too lovely, this valley, this home of the mountain gods. Beautiful and forbidden. I drank it in. The green of the fields, the blue of the gently curving stream, the orange of the lichen in the rocky crevices. I climbed higher to see the great snow-capped peaks towering above and away to the distant sky, and still higher as the shadows turned the snow to purple and crimson and deep blue. The valley now was far below and as beautiful as a painting. But like a painting, it seemed unreal. Medina Cerote was small and far away, a distant dream. And the world of sight was here, all around, overpowering, wonderful. I turned and began to climb up that sheer rock wall. How many months it took me to make my way out over those mountains, over glaciers and snowfields and sheer precipices, I cannot guess. How I lived through the cold and hunger of it, I cannot tell you. But I'm here at last, back from the country of the blind.
Good heavens, man. What an experience.
Yes. Terrible and wonderful.
But you aren't sorry you came back?
Sorry? I see her face clearly now. It is the only thing I see.
Nunez, come, you need food. Here, take my hand.
Thank you. Where is it, Senor Ibarra?
Nunez.
Yes. The gods of the mountain have had their revenge. Those months of crawling over the snow and ice, with the sun glaring down. Yes. I am blind.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight presented The Country of the Blind by H.G. Wells, adapted for radio by John Dunkel, with Paul Frees as Nunez, Peggy Weber as Medina Sarote, Bill Conrad as Ibarra, and Harry Bartel as Correa. The special musical score was conceived and conducted by Cy Fewer. Next week,
when you're tired from a hard day at the office, or your back aches from bending over a hot stove, next week at the same time, when you want to get away from it all, we offer you Escape.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
It's intermission time at the Baba Ghoulie Show. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for some hot popcorn? How's about your favorite soft drinks, which are sparkling cold? And there's all kinds of candy to tempt you. It's radio time, folks. Enjoy the rest of the program. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. When it's done, be sure to check out our channel over at Watchwaddle. Enjoy some tunes with a nice cold soda. This week, guest quacking on the Baba Ghoulie Show, Waddle the Duck. And here's Waddle. Hey folks, Waddle from Watchwaddle here. Hope you're enjoying today's radio program. And if you're considering getting a new radio to listen to them, why not get one with the newest innovation, the 4-speed record player? Because available now is our newest hits from Watchwaddle Production. Check out me and the gang and our hilarious, zany, and crazy tunes, filled with spoofs, gags, and jokes. Available in our playlist collection. Check them out for some cheap laughs and running gags. Well, and when we say running gags, we ain't kidding, brother. Screwy Forest's Watchwaddle cartoons. Available on Channel Watchwaddle. The Baba Ghoulie Show is brought to you by OTR Halloween Holidays.
The Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation brings you Crime Photographer.
Say, Casey, do you think they'll ever put my statue in the Hall of Fame?
What are you famous for, Ethelbert?
For 27 straight years, I always got the same part of the turkey. That's some kind of a record, ain't it?
Well, because you consistently get it in the neck, that might make you notorious, but not really famous.
No, Ethelbert. You know, you have to do something really big, something important to deserve a famous name.
Like what?
Well, like Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Marvin. Every week at this time, the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, and its more than 10,000 employees bring you another adventure of Casey, crime photographer, ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Written by Alonzo Dean Cole, our adventure for tonight, After Turkey, the Bill. 7 o'clock in the evening. A medium-priced uptown restaurant known as Petrakis' Olympian. At a table for two, a flashily dressed young man pushes aside his empty plate and says to the pretty girl who sits opposite,
Hey, that turkey wasn't half bad.
You didn't leave much of it.
Neither did you. Shall I order dessert now?
Uh-huh.
Hey, waiter. Gus.
Okay, kid. What do you want now, Joe?
We're ready for the plum pudding now.
2 plums pudding.
That's what you want, too, isn't it, Lottie?
Yes, and coffee.
Same here.
Okay, kid.
I don't know why you won't let me do anything for you in a classy way, Lottie. I asked you out for a Thanksgiving spread, and you made me bring you to a cheap place like this.
Joe, you can't afford to throw your money away.
How do you know what I can afford? I may not have as good a job as my cousin Bird yet, but that doesn't mean
What's Bird got to do with it?
He's got plenty to do with it. If you didn't have to work today, you'd be out with him now instead of me, I know.
Bird isn't working tonight, Joe. He came home before we left there. I could have had dinner with him if I'd wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be like that, please.
Why shouldn't I be? While I was away, you and him became awful good friends.
We were always friends, the three of us. We grew up on the same block.
Yeah, but while I was away, he moved into your old man's rooming house so we could be closer friends.
Oh, don't start that again tonight. We're out for a pleasant evening, and it has been pleasant so far. Please, Joe.
All right. Comes out dessert.
2 plums pudding. And coffee.
You know, when you go out with me, Lottie, you're going to get class whether you think I can afford it or not. I'm going to take you to Danceland. I'm going to buy you a whole roll of tickets. Best you'd get out of that tightwad fur is a soda and a movie. All right, that's all now, Gus. Bring me a check, will you?
You said it, Joe.
All right, Joe, since you won't drop the subject, we'll talk about Bird.
Swell.
He wants me to marry him.
Figured that from that dirty double-crosser.
He isn't a double-crosser.
He knows I've been going with you since we were kids, that I've always been crazy about you. And while I was taking that bum rap on the reformatory...
You didn't take a bum rap, Joe. You asked for what you got.
All right, so the cops had the goods on me. That gave Bird no right
it
to...
gave me a right to do a lot of thinking.
And so you decided a sneaky yellow drip like my cousin is a better bet than me, huh?
I don't think Bird is sneaky or yellow.
Oh, you don't, huh?
No. And I don't think you're a criminal.
It's nice of you to say that.
I'm not being nice. I'm saying what I believe. If you make me sure you've learned your lesson,
Yeah?
you won't have to worry about me liking Bird or anyone. There's never really been anybody but you, Joe. Only I've got to be sure.
How do I make you sure, Lottie?
Just show me and Dad that you're steady, that's all.
And I've been showing you that since I came back. Didn't I get a job right away?
Yes, Joe, but I don't see how you can afford those 2 new suits and that overcoat with what you're making.
Oh, I get it. Bird can buy clothes or take you out, and it's okay, isn't it? He's never had trouble with the cops. But the minute I spend an extra buck, you and your old man figure I've glommed it somewhere.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Your old man especially. Hates my insides. He don't want you to have anything to do with it.
If Dad hated you, he wouldn't let you stay at our rooming house.
He rents rooms and I pay for the one I rent. That's business. And to ease your mind about the extra dough I spent, Lottie, I'm a lucky guy with dice and a good pool player.
Here's your check, kid.
Thanks, Gus. Pay you so we can get out of here. We're going to Danceland and What?
Joe?
I haven't got my wallet.
Oh, you've lost your money?
I don't know. Maybe I left it home.
Well, phone Dad. He'll look in your room.
Well, if he found it, I'd have to go there for it. It's only a few blocks. You stay here, Lottie, while I go and see him.
Oh, you don't have to leave the lady here, kid. You're an old customer. I know you come back and pay.
Well, thanks, Gus, but I can make better time alone. Hand me my overcoat with even that racket sleeve blue in there.
Sure. Oh, it's a fancy coat. Nice and bright with red stripes. You got a class, kid.
Yeah, but right now I got no dough. I'll come back as soon as I can, Lottie.
I hope you find your money.
Yeah,
Joe.
I hope so, too. And how?
Gee, Casey, it's nice of you and Miss Williams to have Thanksgiving dinner here in the Blue Note with me.
We're nice people, Ethelbert.
Well, the very best. True, warm-hearted, and generous to a fault. Pass the salt.
Also
Paul.
honest, kind, and steadfast. Here's the salt. And
Sure.
pepper.
You know, we're really understating our sterling qualities, Annie. We've risen to the heights of magnanimity, whatever that is, by chewing Thanksgiving turkey in this crummy joint we see every day simply because our little pal here had to work and could only get away from his bartending long enough to grab a meal on the house. We hope you appreciate our sacrifice, Ethelbert.
Oh, I do.
Good. Pardon my reach for the Tabasco. To prove your gratitude, Ethelbert, you can pay for our dinners.
Yeah, well...
Tabasco, Annie?
Huh?
Thanks. Say, you've made a splendid suggestion, Casey. Paying our bill will relieve Ethelbert of a small part of his obligation for our company.
Say, come to think of it, you two are working today yourselves. You didn't have time to get a full meal any further away from your office than this crummy joint.
Ethelbert, you impugn our motives. He destroys my faith in human nature, Casey.
Yes. The spirit of the day is entirely lost upon this lug.
Casey, if you'd pay me what you already owed this crummy joint, I'd be only too happy to buy you dinner. Get it, Walter?
This guy's too wise for us, Annie.
I'm afraid so, Casey.
Casey. Yeah, Walter?
You wanted the bar phone, you said it dead.
Oh, nuts. I'm only just finished my turkey.
No, this means no dessert, Casey.
I'll see what Burke wants.
Well, stall him off if you can.
Yeah, I'll do my best, Annie. Hello, Grace. Hello, Casey speaking. Look, Burke, we haven't finished our dinner yet. Oh, all right. Wait till I get my pencil in. Corner of Whitestone and Evans. Well, what happened there? What, is that all? For a run-of-the-mill story like that, we gotta leave our dessert? Well, okay, Burke, all right, goodbye. Why I stick to this newspaper racket, I don't know.
What was it, Casey?
All the Look, we gotta get out to Whitestone and Evans, Ann. Some mug just held up a filling station there and got away with a couple of $100 or so.
Did he shoot anyone?
No.
Huh?
Just one of those inside page fillers. Burke says news is light and we gotta cover it.
All right, where is Whitestone and Evans?
It's way uptown, not far from Petrakis Olympian Restaurant. You know, we've eaten there a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember. Any description of the hold-up guy?
Yeah, he wore a flashy blue overcoat with red stripes. See you later, pal.
So long, Ethelbert.
So long. Say, wait! Who's gonna pay for this crummy joint?
Our story will continue in just a moment. In mansion or cottage, in city or town, Thanksgiving Day is a time for family reunions, feasting, and fun. But through all the gaiety, there runs a deep note of real thanksgiving for blessings past and present. There's a tacit recognition that a better-fed nation is a stronger, happier nation. And one of the ways in which the American way has made its greatest progress is in the production, preparation, and distribution of food. Now, take the matter of delivering food alone. The great organizations who process and ship us our better foods know that flavor, purity, and freshness are best preserved by clean, sanitary glass. And that's why, as you look around the shelves of your food stores, you see that so many famous brands are brought to you in gleaming, protective containers made of glass. Containers that preserve and safeguard flavor and taste while they permit you to see in advance exactly what you're buying. It's noteworthy that many of the leading brands of food of all kinds come to you in Anchor glass containers sealed with tamper-proof Anchor caps. Products of Anchor Hocking. The most famous name in glass.
Here's what happened, Miss Williams. I'm working the station, see? I'm here in the office when this hold-up guy opens the door and says, "Give me your dough."
He had a gun, of course.
Oh, sure, he had a gun. The time was about 7:15.
What did you notice about the guy aside from his flashy overcoat?
Well, he wore his hat pulled down over his eyes, and a handkerchief was tied around the lower part of his face. Also, he worked fast.
What'd he do?
Well, he told me to get into the gents' the restroom there and to keep quiet. He locked the door on me, and I heard him open up the money drawer there, and then I heard him leave the joint. I started pounding on the door, and after a while, I managed to bust out. That was about 7:15, and then I phoned the cops.
You mind if I shoot a picture of that busted door, Sergeant?
Go ahead, Casey.
Thanks.
You'll want to picture me, too, won't you, Mr. Casey?
Huh? You? Oh, sure, yeah. The door and you. I'll shoot the door first.
It's going to give me old lady a big kick to see me written up on the papers.
Hey, was this big puddle of grease in front of this door, Jones, when the hold-up guy locked you in?
Oh, yeah. I spilled it there earlier, and I didn't have time to clean it up.
Now, the mug must have stepped in it, Casey. Along with the description of his flashy coat I've sent out, I included instructions to look for a guy with dirty grease stains on his shoes.
Well, the two things together ought to nail him, Sergeant.
Yeah, I told the Sarge here's something else that ought to nail a guy.
What's that?
Well, one of the bills he stole out of the money drawer was an old 20 that had been torn in two and kind of stuck together with Scotch tape. I took it in just before the robbery, so I remember it.
Well, looks like you cops have plenty to work on, Sarge. Yeah. Well, we got all there is, Annie. Let's blow out of here and get back to the Blue Note and get some plum pudding and coffee.
Aha, come on.
Hey, ain't you going to take my picture first?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll kind of stand here by the empty cash drawer, and point my finger at it.
Yeah, that'll be original. Well, stand and point, pal. Go ahead.
Great.
All set now. Shoot.
Jones.
Hey, Gus, I'm getting my picture took. Don't walk in front of the camera.
I have just heard what happened to you. About that guy in the blue overcoat which holds you up.
Well, I'll tell you all about that later, Gus. As soon as I get my picture.
No, I tell you and those cops about it now.
You'll tell. Who are you?
Oh, I am Gus Nikopopoulos. I am waiter in Petrakis Olympian restaurant 3 blocks from here. And I know who is the kid who robbed my good friend Jones.
You know?
Yeah, I know as soon as I am told the news about that fancy overcoat.
What are you talking about? Yeah, what are you talking about?
I tell you cops everything. Even where to find this hold-up kid. He tell me he is going with his girl to Danceland.
You got no right to pull me off that dance floor, copper.
Don't believe this waiter, Sergeant. Joe hasn't held up anybody.
We're going to see about that. Close the door, will you, Casey?
Okay, Sarge.
Now, this overcoat we got from the check room, it's yours, isn't it, Bowers?
Yeah, that's my coat.
And you, Jones. Say the guy who stuck you up wore a coat just like it?
It's the same coat, Sergeant.
You're nuts. The store I bought this blanket had a couple of dozen just like it.
Now, take it easy, kid. If your story's okay, we'll check on everyone who owns a coat like this. I'm going to search you. While I'm at it, you can tell us what you did after leaving Petraka's restaurant. After you couldn't find your wallet, I mean.
I went straight to my room and house. I looked for my dough. Finally, I found it in the dresser drawer. Then I came straight back to Petrakis for Lottie. That's Miss Newcomb here.
Yeah.
The dough's in that wallet you just took out of my pocket. It's about $40, and it's mine. I didn't steal it.
Hey, is that torn 20 in the wallet, Sergeant?
No, Jones.
Torn 20?
I guess he hasn't got a gun on him either, Sarge.
He's clean, Casey.
Yeah, so are his shoes. Grease would show up plain on those light tans.
Well, he may have changed shoes and hidden a few things.
Yeah. How far is your rooming house from that filling station, kid?
It's 2 blocks away down Evans Street. My father runs it.
How long did Joe leave you in Petrakis while he was finding his money?
I didn't time it.
It wasn't more than 15 minutes, maybe a half an hour. So what?
So you had plenty of time to stick up Jones and go to your room before you came back to Petrakis.
All right, if that's the way you dope it, copper, search my room.
I'm going to do that little thing, young fella. All of you. Let's go.
Lottie, why have you and Joe come home with all these people and these policemen?
Everything's all right, Dad. They've made a mistake about Joe, but it's going to be all right.
A mistake about Joe?
A big mistake, Mr. Newcomb.
I don't understand.
I'm Sergeant Healy, 5th Detective District. There was a stick-up a few blocks from here tonight, and Joe Bowers here is under suspicion.
A stick-up? Joe?
He didn't do it, Dad. I know he didn't.
You were with him, Lottie. You must know.
Your daughter wasn't with him for a long half hour. Mr. Newcomb, I haven't taken time to get a search warrant, so I'd like your permission to go over Joe's room.
Give him a go-ahead. I have. He'll find nothing to tie me up with any heist job.
All right with you, sir?
Oh, yes, of course.
Thanks. Take me to your room, Bowers.
Come on.
Everybody else stay here with this uniformed officer.
Miss Williams and I'd like to go with you and Joe, Sarge.
Okay, Casey.
Oh, thanks, Sergeant.
My room's on the next floor. It's right up those stairs.
Well, lead the way, kid. And don't try anything tricky.
Why should I try anything? What you got on me is that a stick-up guy wore an overcoat like mine. And that's all you're gonna get. There's the door of my room, copper. Open it. Make yourself at home.
Give me your key.
The door isn't locked. I never bother. I'll turn on the lights. Now do your stuff.
I will.
You won't find anything locked up here. 'Cause I got nothing worth stealing. And nothing to hide. Now, if you were going to work in my cousin's room across the hall, you'd need a fistful of keys. He's one of those careful, secretive guys, you know?
You got a cousin living across the hall?
Yeah, his name's Ferd, or Ferdinand. And is he a Crump?
I take it you don't like him.
I like him about as much as he likes me, maybe more. Because he's been making a play for my girl. He isn't getting anywhere. How you doing, copper? You see anything of the dough I'm supposed to have stolen, or the gat you think I used in that stick-up?
Not yet, kid.
And you won't. I'm 100% in the clear.
Oh, yeah? How did this get under your carpet?
What?
Casey.
A torn $20 bill.
Stuck together with scotch tape.
I never saw that bill before.
And I think Jones will identify it as the one taken from his cash drawer.
Wait a minute. There's more dough under this rug, Sarge. A couple of $100 at least.
I spotted it, Casey.
I don't know how it got there. I didn't pull that stick up.
Cut the comedy, Joe. This money nails
This
you.
is a frame-up. I tell you, it's a
Where'd
frame-up.
you hide your gun?
I never had a gun. I swear I didn't.
Come clean, kid. Where's the gun?
Wait a minute. Will you give me a break? Let me think. Let me think a minute. Yeah. Yeah, there's just one mug will pull a thing like this. And if you're right, guys, you won't let him get away with it. Question Ferd, Sergeant. Question my cousin Ferd. His room's right across the hall.
Might be a good idea, Sergeant.
Okay. Let's go over.
There's the room.
Yes? I'd like to talk to you a minute. This is the police.
Just a second. We're just starting to get ready for bed.
I'm Detective Sergeant Healy, young man. This is Miss Williams and Mr. Casey.
How are you?
Hello there.
What do you want?
Let me close this door. Your cousin Joe here has made some accusations against you that it's my duty to investigate.
Oh, he has he?
Do you own an overcoat like Joe's here? Blue with red stripes?
An overcoat like that?
Or have you ever worn one?
I wouldn't wear a zoot blanket like that if you paid me.
You say?
Yes, I say.
Mind if I look around your room?
Why?
Bert, someone wearing an overcoat like Joe's held up the Whitestone filling station tonight and...
What?
You know where I bought this coat, Ferd. I think you got one just like it on the QT. I think you slipped my wallet out of my pocket just before I left here with Lottie tonight, so I'd have to leave her and look for it. You were watching the restaurant when I left it. You went to that filling
Why,
station.
you're crazy. Sergeant, you can't believe
Maybe
this.
I don't. But I want to search your room.
Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Have you got a search warrant?
No.
Then get out of here.
Say.
I know my rights. Unlike a certain relative of mine, I've got a clean record.
Who are you calling a lousy
You,
rat?
Joe.
Why, I'll knock
And
your
if-
teeth out.
Cut it up. Cut it, both of you. So you don't want me to search your room, hey, young fella?
You heard me before, Sergeant.
Hey, pal, wait a minute. You're taking the wrong attitude. If you got nothing to hide, this isn't the way to show it.
He's got a good reason for saying you can't search, and I'm going to prove it.
Keep out of that closet, Joe.
Make me if you can.
I'll make you.
Hold it, Ferd. Let me go.
Come out of there, Joe. I'll get a warrant.
You
I'll
won't
tell
need a
you-
warrant, Sarge. Look there.
What?
In the back of his closet, covered with other clothes.
Oh. An overcoat like yours.
Just like mine.
And in its pocket, there's a gun.
I never saw that coat before. I never saw that gun.
Well, somebody did. Come on. I'm taking you both to headquarters.
I don't know how that overcoat got in my closet, Sergeant. I swear I never saw it or that gun before.
So you've been saying, Ford. Both of you get into this car.
You did this to me, Joe.
Sure, I got wise to your frame up, you louse. I threw it right back at you.
We'll continue our discussion at the station house.
Of course, you'll only hold me long enough to get my testimony. I'll be back home in an hour or so.
Maybe. You and Miss Williams tagging along after us, Casey?
No, Sarge. I may give you a buzz later, though.
We still have our Thanksgiving dinner to finish.
So why don't you two get jobs that won't make you work on holidays?
Why don't you?
You mean like Captain Logan?
I've been thinking about it for the last 25 years. Good night.
Night,
So long.
Sergeant Healy. Come on, let's get into our car, Casey, and get our stuff to the
I'm
paper.
going
and...
back to that rooming house, Andy.
Why?
Are you convinced that Cousin Ferd framed Cousin Joe?
Well, his attempt to prevent a search of his room didn't look very good.
Annie, I'm just thinking.
Oh, Joe found that overcoat with what might be called surprising ease.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to believe that Joe would invite his own arrest in order to frame his cousin. Why, one little slip.
Framer, whoever he is, did make a slip, Annie. His plan didn't anticipate a grease puddle. And he had to get rid of a pair of shoes that may walk back and kick him.
Well, none of the shoes in Joe's room or in Ferd's had any grease stains on them.
No? Sergeant Healy hasn't forgotten those missing shoes, and he'll be back pretty soon to really look for them. Well, I'm going to start looking right now. I'll ring Newcomb's bell.
Sometimes I wish your snooping instincts were more restrained, Casey. I'd like a cup of coffee now and pop.
Hi, Mr. Newcomb.
Mr. Casey?
Yes, may we come in?
Of course, but
We didn't go with Sergeant Healy and his prisoners. Wanted to ask, how's your daughter now? She wasn't taking this thing very well when we left.
Oh, she feels terrible about it. Miss Williams, perhaps a woman can talk to her better than I can. will you try to convince her that everything will come out all right?
Well, I'll gladly try, Mr. Newcomb.
She's in our private living room.
Yeah, go on in and talk to her alone, Annie. I'll stay here.
All right.
It breaks my heart to see my girl crying, Mr. Casey. She's all I have. She blames herself for what has happened. It isn't her fault that two young fools became so infatuated with her. I knew they hated each other, but I never anticipated anything like this.
No. Guess not.
Of course, you had some reason for coming back here, Mr. Casey.
Yes, I came back to ask your permission.
Yes?
I want permission to ask a few personal questions between ourselves and off the record.
Very well.
You haven't wanted Joe for a son-in-law, have you?
In my place, would you? The boy has served a reformatory sentence that, according to my observation, has failed to steady him or improve his sense of values.
Ferd has been Joe's opposite, I imagine.
He always seemed so.
Lottie strikes me as a pretty sensible girl, Mr. Newcomb. Unless one of those fellas confesses he framed the other, or it can be definitely proven, she'll doubt both of them too much to marry either one of them.
Yes, I think that's so.
And as there'll be no confession or definite proof, things should work out exactly as you planned.
As I planned?
You're the guy behind this double frame-up.
Oh, Mr. Casey.
You didn't think I'd be back, did you? You shouldn't have changed back into those comfortable old shoes after Sergeant Healy left here. You did a lousy job of cleaning off that grease.
Oh, but...
You held up that filling station and framed both the boys to keep your daughter from marrying either one of them.
I was very foolish, wasn't I?
Yes, I think so. Shall I call Sergeant Healy?
All right. You can call Sergeant Healy, Mr. Casey. I'm ready to confess.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let me take a close look at those shoes.
What?
The pool of grease in that filling station you heard us talk about wasn't deep enough to reach far above the soles of a shoe. Hey. You greased those shoes yourself. You spread it on so thick it covers the toes and heels.
I didn't spread it on.
Pal, you're a beautiful liar. And I'm a beautiful dope. You greased those shoes and put them on knowing the cops would come back and spot them. You were willing to take the rap. Because your kid is in love with one of those punks.
You can prove that. Nobody can. And when I confess, that's all that's needed.
You forget. The police lab will compare the grease on these shoes with a filling station grease, and it won't be the same. And then Sergeant Healy will go right back to work on Joe and Ferd.
The police laboratory can tell?
Yes, definitely, Mr. Newcomb. But if it couldn't, don't you think your confession would be much harder for your daughter to take than the loss of a little rat she thinks she cares for?
Well, I couldn't bear to see her cry anymore. All I could think of to do was what I tried. You see, I know the guilty boy, Mr. Casey, and she's loved Joe ever since they were children.
You know Joe?
I found his grease-stained shoes hidden in the cellar tonight. His taste in shoes is like his taste in overcoats, so I could make no mistake.
Huh. Well, let's get him and take him to the cops. Later, Mr. Newcomb, your daughter's going to realize that the lowdown she'll get on Joe tonight is a cause for real Thanksgiving.
We'll join the crowd at the Blue Note in just a moment.
This is Harry Marble to remind you how important the new Anchor Glass one-way no-deposit bottle is to your enjoyment of ale and beer. It's a custom-made container made just for you. No one has used it before, and no one ever will use it again. When you're through with it, you dispose of it as you would any other food container. There's no deposit, no fuss or bother. And the new Anchor Glass one-way bottle assures you of sparkling ale and beer without cloudiness and with no foreign flavor or aroma. Beer that's truly brewery bright. Most of the brewers of New England and those who ship ale and beer into New England have adopted this bottle for your protection and added convenience. For the Anchor Glass one-way bottle not only costs the brewer less than any other type of single-trip container, but it also gives you much more for your money. So here's a good rule. When buying ale and beer, always demand a glass bottle. And for extra convenience, demand your favorite brand in the new Anchor Glass one-way no-deposit bottle, a product of Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass.
So, the shoes fit Joe and he had to wear 'em, huh, Casey?
They pinched so tight he cracked wide open, Ethelbert. He admitted planting a duplicate of his coat in Ferd's closet, everything.
If his scheme had worked, Lottie would never have spoke to Ferd again and she'd have married Joe.
Well, that was Joe's idea, Ethelbert, but it worked out in reverse. Lottie sank into Ferd's manly arms when she heard the lowdown, and she seemed very comfortable.
Gee, what some guys will do for love. As my sister Edna says, quote, if love didn't make the world go round, there wouldn't be so much dizziness. Unquote.
Or so much niceness.
Yeah. A grand guy, Lottie's old man. Hey, Annie, what's the matter with us? We got plum pudding and coffee still coming to us. How about it, Ethelbert, huh?
Oh, it's about time.
Well, what's so funny?
There isn't any more.
Crime Photographer, starring Stotts Cotsworth as Casey, is brought to you each Thursday by the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, makers of Fire King Oven Glass, Anchor Glass Containers, Anchor Caps and Closures, all products of Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass. Crime Photographer is directed by John Dietz. The original music is by Archie Blyer, and the program features Miss Jan Miner as Anne and John Gibson as Ethelbert. Herman Chittison is the Blue Note pianist. If civilization is to survive, we must reaffirm our religious faith. It's up to each of us. Do your part by supporting and attending your church or synagogue. This is Tony Marvin saying goodnight for the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, with offices in all principal cities of the United States and Canada. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Thank you, OTR Halloween Holidays, for another great Baba Ghoulie horror show. And now, join us on Channel Watchwaddle for our Midnight Spook Show. Thanks for watching the Baba Ghoulie Show by OTR Halloween Holidays. This is Waddle the Duck saying check out Channel Watchwaddle for some fun cartoons with no static.